It's the Whisky Wizard!
Hello and welcome to the Whisky Wizard, where we say that whiskey making takes scientific knowledge, an artisan's skill and dedication, and a bit of the wizard's alchemy of light, air, earth, and fire. By the time we reach the age where we can drink whiskey, Halloween has really passed us by. Yeah, we might still dress up in creative costumes, go to blowout Halloween bashes, and elaborately decorate our yard, but ultimately, the ones getting the most out of Halloween are somewhere between the ages of 4 and 12 and are dressed as some type of character we likely do not understand. But that certainly doesn't mean trick-or-treating offers us grown-ups nothing at all. I like sitting by a warm fire in our driveway and handing out candy much more than I ever did going door to door as a youngster. And I no longer have to fight my mother about not wearing that coat that covers up half my painstakingly selected outfit. Another good thing about adult trick-or-treat is I can enjoy that nice dram of whiskey to warm me up from the inside, which provides more joy than, 50 almond joys. And I find that a bold, smoky single malt or a high-proof bourbon goes well if I'm eating a bit of Halloween chocolate. If I'm doing more grown-up stuff like cheese and crackers or a bowl of chili, a nice toasty rye like Michter's Single Barrel works really quite well. Or maybe just do a spooky whiskey punch if you're having guests. There are lots of good mixed recipes out there, so you can search that out in Google land if you are interested. Okay, anyway, what Halloween episode would be complete without something from Cameron and Lauren? So away we go out to Los Angeles. Take it away, Cameron and Lauren.
Thank you, Whisky Wizard. As the nights are getting longer and more spooky, it is getting to be my favorite time of year, approaching Halloween. And with this amazing feeling in the air, it's time to talk about the spirits associated with our favorite spirits. Welcome to the Halloween Whiskey Ghost Stories episode. For our first story, I'm going to talk about some incredibly long-lived or long-after-lived ghosts. Kilbeggan Distillery is one of the oldest distilleries in the world, founded in 1757. It was founded by Matthias McManus, who intended for the distillery to be passed down through the generations. But only a short time later, in 1798, his son was running the distillery when he was executed by the British for political crimes. They said that they were executing him for breaking curfew, but it was really because they suspected that he was a member of the United Irishmen. Ever since, people have claimed to hear angry screaming and rending sounds and crashes through the distillery at night, and locals believe that it is possibly Matthias and John raging in anger at John's execution and the distillery being taken away from their family. There's also been reports of a strange hooded figure cloaked in black robes wandering menacingly through the distillery grounds at night, although this one has only been reported fairly recently in the 2000s. So make of that what you will. So my first story of a haunting at Buffalo Trace took place in the early 20th century. A foreman was sleeping on the job, and he claims that he was woken up by hearing a man's voice whisper in his ear, "Get your men out of there." He woke up with a start and looked around, saw there was nobody there, and was such a bad foreman that instead of waking up and going back to his job, he went back to sleep. Just as he drifts back off to sleep, he hears the voice again, but louder. "Get your men out of there now!" He wakes up. Now he's a little creeped out. He can't go back to sleep. So he gets up and he goes to the men. He's like, "Hey, let's get out of the warehouse." And not 5 minutes after they all walk away, the white bricks on the wall collapse and land right on the ground exactly where the men had been working. There were at least 7 people who are said to have been saved by this ghost whispering in the foreman's ear. Some people believe that this was Colonel Taylor. I couldn't find any good information on what makes them believe that, but Colonel Taylor was known for caring a lot about safety when he was alive and being highly protective of the workers at his distillery. Although, if all those things were true, I'd kind of suspect he'd be a little bit more angry at a foreman sleeping on the job, but, I didn't know the guy. The story of the falling bricks in Warehouse C is one of the most dynamic, haunting stories of Buffalo Trace Distillery, but it is far from the only one. Supposedly the most haunted place on the grounds is a house built by Albert B. Blanton, where he lived for many years with his family. It is said that he is still there, in death, wandering around late at night and asking questions when no one is around and you least expect to hear a voice. It is also said that the family's housekeeper, a woman named Sarah, can be heard humming to herself and singing as she works. I would hate to be stuck doing work for all of eternity, especially cleaning a house, but she seems to be cheerfully keeping on with it. There is also a creepy little girl who no one seems to have been able to identify, who is said to enjoy playing pranks and scaring people and then laughing gleefully at them. So, many different flavors of ghosts to choose from in this same house. There's so many that there are ghost tours through the Albert B. Blanton house on a regular basis. I hope you've enjoyed our second annual Halloween episode on the spirits of the spirits, on the ghosts that even still are said to haunt the stills that deliver the water of life. Back to you, Whisky Wizard, and happy Halloween!
Oh, wow. Great job, guys. Spooktacular and phantomtastic. Thanks so much for that. Who'd have thought there could be more whiskey-oriented ghost stories to tell? This is Douglas Dunbar, the Whisky Wizard, for the Whisky Roundtable. Cheers, Slàinte mhath, and now...